Welcome back to Mega Stadiums. Today we're diving into another of the most exciting stadium transformation stories in the Premier League. Nottingham Forest's ambitious plans to turn the historic City Ground into a modern 45,000-seat fortress. For over a century, the Reds have called the banks of the River Trent home. But now, under Greek billionaire Evangelos Marinakis, the club is ready to write a bold new chapter. From a two-time European champion playing in a 30,000-seat stadium to a £130 million investment that could create one of England's most impressive venues. This is the story of how Nottingham Forest is building a stadium worthy of its legendary past and ambitious future. Let's get started. The City Ground has stood on the south bank of the River Trent since 1898, a century-old landmark woven into the heart of Nottingham. It faces Notts County's Meadow Lane across the water, two stadiums separated by a river but united by history. Few grounds in English football capture heritage quite like it. From promotions and great escapes to European triumphs, the City Ground has been more than a venue. It's been the stage for every defining chapter in Nottingham Forest's story. Its architecture tells that tale. The Brian Clough Stand, completed in 1980 following Forest's first European Cup victory, remains a living monument to the club's golden age under Clough and Taylor. Decades of evolution have shaped the stadium into its current form. Four distinct stands: the Brian Clough Stand, the Bridgford Stand, the Trent End, and the Peter Taylor Stand. Together, they hold just over 30,000 spectators, a figure that once felt immense, but now feels intimate in a league where 50,000 seaters are the norm. That scale has become a double-edged sword. The City Ground still produces one of the Premier League's most electric atmospheres, but demand has long outgrown supply. Forest have around 20,000 season ticket holders, while an additional 10,000 to 12,000 fans wait for a chance that may take years to come. Every home match sells out, and every week thousands are left outside the gates. By the time Evangelos Marinakis arrived in 2017, Forest's need for change was clear. The Greek shipping magnate, already owner of Olympiakos, purchased the club for around £50 million and brought with him both financial power and long-term vision. His focus was immediate: modernise the club, rebuild its foundations, and restore Nottingham Forest as a force in English and European football. But there was one major obstacle: the club didn't own its own home. The City Ground's land belonged to Nottingham City Council, leaving Forest as tenants, paying annual rent just to stay in their historic stadium. For Marinakis, that arrangement made meaningful progress impossible. When Forest earned promotion back to the Premier League in 2022, tensions with the council escalated. Officials proposed raising the annual rent from £250,000 to £1 million, citing the club's top-flight status. Marinakis refused. His stance was simple: if Forest were to invest, it had to be in a ground they truly owned. 2 years later, in July 2024, that breakthrough finally arrived. After lengthy negotiations, Nottingham City Council agreed in principle to sell the stadium's freehold to the club for around £10 million. It wasn't just a business deal, it was a symbolic turning point, restoring control of the City Ground to the club that had given it life for more than a century. Marinakis had always envisioned a modernised City Ground, one capable of matching the team's aspirations on and off the pitch. Now, with ownership nearly secured, he could finally act. Nottingham Forest's redevelopment of the City Ground is one of the most ambitious and carefully orchestrated stadium projects in English football. Estimated at around £130 million, the project represents one of the largest private infrastructure investments by a Premier League club outside the Big Six. The club has adopted a phased strategy, a long-term plan designed to expand capacity, modernise facilities, and future-proof one of the game's most historic venues. When complete, the stadium's capacity will rise from 30,445 to 45,000 fans, elevating it into the top tier of Premier League arenas and giving Forest a home that matches their growing stature. Standing proudly beside the River Trent, the Peter Taylor Stand has long been part of the City Ground's identity, but also its greatest limitation. It's the oldest structure in the stadium, seating around 5,000 supporters, and despite its charm, it no longer meets the standards expected of a modern Premier League venue. Phase 1 will change that entirely. Under the approved redevelopment plans, the stand will be demolished and rebuilt from the ground up, replaced by a striking 10,000-seat structure designed by the internationally acclaimed firm Benoit. The new stand will double capacity, enhance sightlines, and introduce modern concourses, hospitality suites, and premium facilities that bring that end of the ground in line with the best in the league, all while preserving the intimate, authentic atmosphere that defines the city ground. However, there's one major obstacle: the Britannia Boathouse, home to Nottingham Rowing Club since 1869. This historic building sits directly behind the current Peter Taylor stand and must be demolished to make way for the expansion. As part of the planning approval granted in June 2025, Forest is required to construct a brand new boathouse elsewhere along the Trent before any demolition can begin. This ensures the rowing club can continue its activities without interruption. But it also means Phase 1 cannot start until that replacement facility is completed. Once the boathouse issue is resolved, construction of the new Peter Taylor stand is targeted for summer 2026. The club initially hoped to begin work in summer 2025, but England's friendly against Senegal on June 10, 2025, held at the City Ground, delayed the timeline. When complete, this phase alone will push the stadium's total capacity to approximately 35,000 seats. With the new Peter Taylor stand transforming one end of the City Ground, attention will next turn to the Bridgford stand, the long structure running along one side of the pitch. While this phase may not carry the visual drama of a complete rebuild, it's equally vital to the stadium's evolution. Plans call for a significant extension of the Bridgford stand, adding around 5,000 new seats and bringing the City Ground's capacity to roughly 40,000. The design will seamlessly integrate with the new Peter Taylor stand, ensuring a unified architectural identity throughout the stadium. The final major phase of Nottingham Forest's expansion will be both symbolic and transformative. It will focus on filling in the open corners of the stadium, particularly around the Trent end, where the view of the river and skyline has long defined the City Ground's charm, but also its limitations. By enclosing the stadium bowl, Forest will not only add an estimated 5,000 seats, pushing capacity toward 43,000 to 45,000, but also create a completely new matchday experience. The acoustics will change dramatically. Crowd noise will circulate and amplify, turning the City Ground into a wall of sound on match days. The open, traditional feel of the venue will evolve into something more imposing and intense, creating one of the most atmospheric arenas in the Premier League. The filled corners will also allow for new fan facilities, media areas, and improved sightlines, while ensuring that the ground maintains its distinct character along the River Trent. For supporters who've spent decades entering a stadium with open air between the stands, the transformation will feel monumental. The moment the City Ground becomes a true modern bowl while keeping its soul intact. The project includes investments in local infrastructure, over £1 million for bus services, £150,000 for road upgrades, and £200,000 for cycling. It is expected to contribute £13 million annually to Nottingham's economy and £800 million over the first decade, benefiting the club and city. Forest also has permission for up to 170 residential units with commercial space, decoupled from the stadium work to proceed only after completion, providing flexibility and prioritising the City Ground expansion. The redevelopment of the City Ground will unfold across a meticulously planned timeline, one that balances ambition with the practical realities of construction, ownership, and the football calendar. The immediate priority is resolving the Britannia Boathouse situation. Once the replacement rowing facility is constructed and the club secures final freehold ownership from Nottingham City Council, demolition of the existing Peter Taylor stand can begin. The boathouse is expected to be completed by spring 2026. Paving the way for demolition of the existing stand that summer. With the land fully under club control, groundbreaking on the 10,000-seat Peter Taylor stand will follow immediately, targeting an opening in time for the 2027-28 season. Phase 2 will maintain that momentum. The Bridgford stand extension, adding 5,000 seats and refining the stadium's aesthetic cohesion, is slated to commence in the summer of 2028, following the completion of the Peter Taylor stand. The transformative final phase, enclosing the corners and completing the bowl, is anticipated to begin in the early 2030s, with the Trent end corners prioritized to amplify acoustics and create that enclosed wall of sound. Upon completion, targeted for the 2032-33 season or earlier if scheduling aligns, the stadium will reach its full 45,000 seat potential. The financial case is compelling. With a capacity of 45,000 and enhanced hospitality facilities, Forest could generate tens of millions more in matchday revenue each season, income that would be reinvested into the squad, the academy, and further infrastructure. Nottingham Forest's story is one of English football's most romantic. A provincial club that conquered Europe twice, then spent years in the wilderness, is now back on the rise with genuine ambition to compete at the highest level. The City Ground expansion represents more than just additional seats. It's a statement of intent. From 30,000 to 45,000. From a relic of the past to a beacon of the future, Nottingham Forest is building a stadium worthy of its legacy. And that's the full story of Nottingham Forest's journey from European glory to stadium transformation. From a 30,000-seat relic to a bold £130 million vision that could create one of England's most impressive arenas. What do you think about the Reds' plans to nearly double their capacity? Can Marinakis deliver a 45,000-seat City Ground? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss anything. Thanks for watching, and as always, see you next week.